going to start a new file. Okay, so let's do intro to Python. To Python, and then today is 10/11. Right, okay. Anybody interested in learning Python today? When there's more people, then I'll start. How's everybody's morning going so far? I'm a bit tired already. I didn't sleep a whole lot, but it happens. Hey, how are you? Whenever people are ready to get started with Python, let me know and then I'll start. Good morning, everyone. We're just getting started with the live. It's also streaming on YouTube. Yeah, so ready? Robert and the baddest? Oh, sorry. Okay, so we're just doing beginning Python, so we're going from the very beginning and, just basic Python. So is that what the people who are currently here interested in? Is that why you want to be here this morning? I just want to make sure that, the people who want to learn Python are here. Cool. Google Collab. I haven't done that. I do have it on, I uploaded to GitHub, not GitHub, yeah, GitHub afterwards. Okay, the baddest. Alright, so, okay, Python, right? Let me see, how do you do Google Collab? Thanks, Robert. Okay, let me see. Oh, okay, it's Jupyter Notebook. Let me see if I can sign up. Oh, you have to pay for it. I'm not a student, so I would have to pay for it. Yeah, you can use Anaconda. I just, it's saying that it's not free. It's saying it's free for, oh wait, maybe... This is what it's saying. We're about to get started right now. Somebody suggested using Google Collab, but it's saying that it costs, maybe it's because it's on research. Let's see. Okay. Let me sign in. Thank you, chat. Let me sign in with my correct account. This is also streaming on YouTube, so I hope that I see people if they're talking to me on YouTube. Why is it saying it's offline? Oh, I see, okay. Pop up, okay. Let me fix that. There's so many things going on here. Okay, let me move this over, and then, okay, let's do Google Collab. Alright, so how do I do this? I just create a new one, new notebook. That's right. No, I don't teach JS. Hey Coco, it's been a while. Okay, let me see, leave page. Okay, I haven't done this in a while, so it's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve. Okay. Let's see, so how do I share this file? Am I sharing it with you? Is that what happens? your classes going, Coco? Let me see. No. Oh, that's what you meant. ETL pipeline? No. I'm not working on that. So, Chicken Lover, I have a GitHub which serves the same purpose. Like, if you want me to use a Jupyter notebook instead of, I'm glad your classes are going well, Coco. If you want me to use a Jupyter notebook instead of a regular Python file, we can, but I'm just gonna use GitHub because that's where all the other files are uploaded. I'm doing okay, how are you? Just kind of tired. Do you know how to use GitHub yet? I mean, I don't use Gcollab, but I would think that you would have to be careful, especially if it's something that's available on the cloud. Okay. It's PyCharm. It's okay, Chicken Lover. I'll see if I can make a video for using GitHub later. I'm using PyCharm. Okay. I need to drink some water because... All right. Shall we? Okay. So, data types in Python. Let's go ahead and do a string first. I'm going to say my cat is named Rocket. So this is a string. It's basically text. You can also have special characters in it, like, you know, comma, exclamation points. The thing is that if you have two kinds of strings, or if you have two different strings, one with capital letters and the other one with lowercase letters, they're not going to be equal to each other because different characters have different values, essentially. They're different, even though they're the same to us, we read them the same. Capital R and lowercase r are not equivalent to each other. Alright, so let's do a whole number. Let's do number, underscore pancakes. I'm going to need to turn off code completion for this. So number of pancakes equals 10. That's how many pancakes I eat in the morning. So this is an integer, or an int. Let me turn off code completion because that's going to annoy me. Settings. Completion. Okay. So next we have float or floating point number. So that's going to be like, the one that I usually do is like cost, but I guess it could be like temperature. So let's do temperature equals 109.5. That's pretty high. So this is a floating point number. This is not, I mean, this down here is a terminal, but this is PyCharm. Floating point is, it's basically a decimal number. But decimal, the way that, you know, we talk about it in our daily life is not the same way as the, you know, proper definition of a decimal, because a decimal number is technically just a base 10 number. But when we talk about it, like when we're learning in school, for some reason we learn it as a decimal number or it has a decimal point, but that's not how it works in computers. Can you show how to set up environments? Not right now. It is PyCharm. Okay. So, yeah, in computers it's base 2, but that's why I'm saying, like, when we say decimal numbers, and the way that you say decimal numbers, like in computers or programming, they mean two different things. So binary is base 2. But yeah, it's that's more complicated than what we're doing here. Yes, exactly. ASA, it has to do with precision. So the precision is after the point number. I'm not a DevOps engineer. I work in QA automation right now. And it also depends on size. Yes. But in Python, it's not so much dependent on size like it is in Java, because in Java, a float is half the size of a decimal, an int is half the size of a long, but in PyCharm, like just base PyCharm, we're just saying like an int is a whole number, and a float is a floating point number. So when you add the hash, this is a comment, and this is just for readability. So because I'm showing it to you and you haven't done this before, I'm adding comments. Complex numbers you can also do, but I'm not getting into them in this. Like, there's some issues with using code for more complex numbers and for numbers with higher levels of precision. And there's things like floating point errors, and those are very, mathy. So this live stream is geared towards people who are just interested in learning to code, not necessarily people who are specifically interested in the mathy aspects. Yeah. Okay, the baddest. I'm gonna concentrate on you. This is PyCharm. Okay, so we have a boolean. Also, we could say is underscore cold equals true, and this is just true or false, yes or no, essentially. Why would I use type hints? They're explaining what they do to. It's a comment to help people who are learning. Anyways, so we have our booleans. Let's go ahead. Do you want to do conditional statements, loops, or data structures first, the baddest? Why do we need to do true or false? True or false comes into play with loops and conditional statements. So, any. Okay, let's do loops, and I can kind of explain how it's useful. So if we have a while loop and we say while is underscore cold, then I print it is cold today. So what's going to happen with this is that this is going to be an infinite loop. You don't want to do this, but this is just, for demonstration purposes. So this will always be true, right? So you don't want to ever be in a situation where you're getting into an infinite loop, because it's just going to crash your computer and you're not actually progressing in your program. So you need to think about, at what point does this loop break? Yeah, it's conditional statements are like, well, no, actually, that's conditional statements, but we're talking about loops right now. I know I kind of jumped. So if we do a conditional statement first, we say if is underscore cold, and we assume is true. Like, we can assume that this is basically what how a conditional works. So if we say print the water is cold, right? So you wouldn't actually put equals true, because you don't need to. It's already going to just evaluate based on this Boolean value. And you would use comparison operators to create other comparisons and get that Boolean value. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Tiger, thank you. But even then you would have a way of exiting out of the loop. And if it's not true, you could type else, yeah. But if I print this right now, what'll it do? It'll say the water is cold. So when you think about making a loop, you always want to think about what's the exit condition. Like, when will this stop being true? And Tiger C10 mentioned a good point, which is that sometimes you want to have an infinite loop, like if you're playing a game. If your game just stops all of a sudden because the loop ended, then that's going to ruin your game experience. No, I didn't stream all night, Nikki. I went to sleep. Yeah, is cold will always be true. So, a common way that you learn how to control statements, to control conditional statements in like beginning Python, is that you can use counters. So instead of saying if is cold, why don't we say let me see. Well, actually, okay. So is cold is always true, right? But then if we wanted to actually create a loop and go through multiple iterations, then we would want to, is it a control variable? Like, we want to have like some kind of counter or something that we can keep track of and decide whether or not we want to continue the loop. So what we can do, instead of using is cold, we could say count equals 5, and we could say while count is greater than 0, then I'm going to print take a deep breath. Okay, so how many times, never mind. So this is also an infinite loop if you look at it, because, thank you, it actually won't print 5 times. This will actually just, it will always be true because we're not doing anything to the count value. We need to decrement it or increment it. We need to manipulate this value so that it'll change the condition, or it'll evaluate differently. How do you end the loops? So you don't have to do anything in Python to like sort of, you're only doing indents, right? So this indentation is marking like the code block within the while loop. I'll show you what decrement and increment means. Exactly, Jake, count stays 5, so it's an infinite loop and it'll always be true. So if we want to eventually break out of the while loop, Python I think is similar to R. So if you want to break out of the while loop, what you could do is that there are certain operators that you can use. I think that these are, okay, so let me see. So I can print, and I would say, yeah, control variable. So I would say count plus equals 1, and then when we print count, it'll say 6, right? And that's just because plus equals a number is a shorthand way of saying this value or this variable plus 1. So let me comment this out. Okay, so we have, I'm going to take this out. Okay, so now we start with count is equal to 5. Count is just, it's the control variable that we're using to decide when the loop will end. So here, right now it's an infinite loop because count will always be greater than 0 because count is equal to 5 and we're not making any changes to it. So we have to fix that. And how do we get 5 to equal to 0? This is PyCharm. Yep. So Jikwon already knows, so I think he's a, you can't do count minus minus in Python. You can get Python for free, you just have to download Python from python.org. Brian, are you being rude? Okay, right, so we're decrementing it. So we're going to do count minus equals 5. Or sorry, minus equals 1. And so what this is going to do is every time that this iteration, or every time we have an iteration in this loop, then it's going to print, take a deep breath, and then it's going to subtract 1 from the count. I think it's still worth learning to code. Your first time seeing somebody coding on here. Alright, so how many times... I haven't used SAP. B. Okay, let me see. Oh, we are going to print the value, Asa, but I'm just asking. Okay, so let's see. BS software engineering student. Hi. 5 times? No, you're just getting here and we're just starting, so. Alright, so it says print, take a deep breath, and it says count minus equals 5, or minus equals 1. So this will print 5 times, right? So on the other hand, you can do print count to see, actually let's go ahead and do a formatted string, and I'm just gonna pass count, right? So it says take a deep breath 5, take a deep breath 4, take a deep breath 3, take a deep breath 2, take a deep breath 1. Okay. Thanks, Ernie. K. Malcolm says hi. Linda? What? Hi. How is she seeing my stream? Okay. I mean, I think that these lives are a good way to find a study buddy. So if you find somebody in the chats that you're vibing with, then you can reach out to them and ask them if they'd be interested in studying with you, or if they'd be willing to study with you. How do you hide the comments? You have to press and hold the screen and then click like clear screen. Jake, I don't actually know you, so... Aw, thank you. I appreciate it, Linda. Yeah, I talk to her sometimes. She's really cool. She's very supportive. She told me that I should start talking about AI more, and I know she's right. I just, I'm stubborn. Okay. How would you add a GUI with Python? You would have a library like tkinter. You would use a library like tkinter, but tkinter isn't the best library. My computer is very mad at me because I'm running too many programs right now. Okay. So we understand loops now. Red fishing asked a question. Sorry about that. How does the PC understand what you're typing? Well, we're learning to code, right? Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. I think she's trying to just help us because she knows the direction that things are going in. Yeah, so the f string just is a formatted string. It allows us to get variables from outside the string, essentially. And that way we don't have to concatenate. Couldn't you use a for loop? You could use a for loop, but you still have to learn to use a while loop. Is there a scenario where you would use for loop versus while? I think a lot of it is just preference, but yeah, for loops can do the same thing. Okay, the baddest, are you still here? Okay, so next, what would you like to do? The baddest, or did that help you? Does that make loops helpful? Because, so essentially, the very basics of Python aren't bad. Like, they can be easy to learn. The problem is when you start having to, like, put a lot of things together and start getting, like, you start having more complex logic. You have to define a variable with a while loop and not a for loop. So in Python, the loop would look like for example, each in range of count. Each in range of count. And then you do print, and then each. Count. Oh no. Print each. 1 second. There it goes. Sorry, I don't know why it wasn't working. How would you do the loop, GB? So, a while loop and a for loop are both. I learned for loops in Java, so I'm thinking about a for loop like for loops in Java. And in a for loop, you still have a conditional, but the conditional in Java is making sure that it's not meeting a certain condition. In Python, you don't have that for loop. You have a different kind of for loop. It's a for each loop. Okay, conditional statements and functions. So the for each is structured differently. So there's a for each in Java and a for each in Python. But I'm saying that the for loop that we use in Python is structured differently than the for loop in Java. Let's see. You should get back into programming, Tombstone. Jake, that's fine. I'm just giving you an example. But you can make your own stream, and you can, be the person who's talking if you want to. I understand that this is just a variable that you're defining. Yeah, you could do it that way too, Eric Bureau. I do have a Discord, but I'm not sure whether or not to open it up because, thanks, Linda. I'm not sure whether or not to open it up because it's difficult enough, like, with people in live sometimes. Like, sometimes they're not being very polite to each other, and it's difficult. Okay, so my cat is now sitting in front of my computer. Is there a reason to use a tuple over a list? Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Yeah, Norbert, I agree with you. Like, I generally ask for people's LinkedIn before I, either tutor them or, you know, engage with them a whole lot, because you don't know who people are, and it's yeah, the cat's a TA. Okay. So yeah, Asa, thank you. I also work as a software engineer. I'm just tired. What's next, or do I get some job with that? You can't really get a job with just Python. There's a lot more skills to software engineering and software development than just coding, but you have to, thanks to Baddest, you have to have your resume, you have to do internships, and I mean, not always internships, but it is difficult to get a job with just Python. There's also things like SQL. So understanding how to access databases and how to work with databases is, Jake, if you keep using capital letters, then I'm going to mute you. Adriana, there's also people who stream in Spanish to do coding. I wouldn't say coding is especially easy, but it gets easier. Like, the fundamentals get easier, but you're always learning. See, I'm more back end. I don't do front end. I agree about Oracle database being a good place to start for SQL. Any tips for getting employed with just a degree in CIS? That is a more complicated situation. It's saying no sound detected. Thanks, Akil. Could I go over linked lists in Python? I'm not awake enough for that. Why not use a list and not change it? Okay, so let's do list and tuple right quick. I used to think that there was more back-end development than there was more demand for back-end development than front-end, but I don't really think that's the case so much anymore. So Jake, I think you already know if you're used to being on the internet, but caps is seen as yelling, and earlier you were using lowercase. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, tuple is dictionary. Yep. Okay, let's do that. Okay. So list. Let's do list. We're gonna just say they are. Whoops. Ordered, indexable, mutable, so ordered, indexable, mutable, and let's see, what else are they? Allow duplicates. Okay. So let's start with fruits. In the chat, could we get a list of fruits, please? So, what kind of fruits? Mango. Strawberry, peach, blackberries. Okay, cool. I'm going to leave it there for right now. I agree, JMF. I like that part too. Okay. So with fruits, we could do something like we could append another fruit. So let's append pears. Sorry. Let's append pears. And then let's print fruits. Oops. So, let me comment this out. Alright, so you see how originally when we defined the list, it had only 4 elements in it, right? And then now we have another element. We've added pears, right? Yeah, you could do fruits.pop. Fruits.pop will remove, it'll remove the last element in the list and allow you to access it versus just deleting it completely. So let's do fruits.append pears. Now let's remove maybe mango, or let's remove peach. We could do dot remove peach, and then we can print fruits. Orange soda, my favorite. Fruit pop. How to inject the fruit somewhere that isn't at the end of the list. Well, you can replace something. I forgot how to insert. Okay, but let's do print fruits. So now peach is removed from the list, right? Hey Q, no worries. Civil engineers are welcome. It's easier than MATLAB. Sakil, I blocked him too. Thank you. Like, why are you going to come up here and tell me I'm sassy? Okay, insert. So then it would be something like fruits dot insert. Okay, it gives us some information at the index. So I'll say at index 1, and then let's insert pineapple, and let's see if that works. So at the index 1, so with Python, we start with 0 indexing, right? Or we have it 0 indexing. That means that the first element will be at index 0, and the last element will be at the length -1. Am I on Twitch? Not right now. Right now I'm on YouTube. So you can go to my YouTube channel and I'm streaming, but nobody's there right now. Yeah, Dame, I understand that. I did a minor in computer science too, and when I first did it, I didn't understand like the real world applications. So I was like kind of intimidated by the idea of coding outside of school. Okay. Do you need to write index, or is that for us? So in this case, you do need to write. Oh, sorry. This is the PyCharm helping us. So this is like giving us hints and reminding us that these are the parameters that correspond, or the names that correspond to each of the parameters. So when we're slicing, I use more the square brackets. So if you want to do, okay, let's, instead of doing lists, let's use a string, because that's kind of fun. Same name on YouTube. You can find my YouTube on my bio. Alright, so let's go ahead and type, let's just go ahead and type pineapple, right? So let's go fruit equals pineapple. And in Python, it's kind of cool because a string is just a list of characters. So we could do a lot of the same things that we do with lists. So we could say 4-letter in fruit, print letter. And what will this do? If we say 4-letter in fruit, print letter, and remember fruit is pineapple. Yeah, Sakil, that's how I use slicing too. Okay, I'm gonna, yeah, Jay has got it. All right, so it's just gonna go down the list and print pineapple, right? Okay, so that's just like Python kind of treating a word as a string, or sorry, a string as a list of characters. You can learn coding as a beginner. Whether or not you can learn it on live stream, that depends on whether you practice outside. Hi, ISI. Okay. So let's do, okay, so we have fruit equals pineapple, and then let's do slicing, because somebody wanted to do slicing, so we could do print, and we could do fruit, and we're going to use square brackets, kind of like when we're trying to access an element. Please don't say that you're too dumb for coding. That's not being kind to yourself, and I feel like we try to be supportive of each other here in this live stream. So, all right, Rudy, that's unnecessary. Okay, anyways, so if we have fruit and we go, we're gonna go blank 2, and then we could say 3. So that's gonna be, instead of blank, just think of it as 0. So from the beginning of the, yeah, no VS slander. Like, everybody uses different tools. It doesn't matter what tool you use as long as you use it, you know? So blank until 3. So it goes, okay, let me show it this way. So when you have some value, you go start, end, and then increment, right? My degree, I have a master's in computer science. I teach, or I do these live streams like twice a week. What's the purpose of the return function? It's so that you can get back a value from the function. How do you type without looking? It takes practice. I'm not very good at it, but we used to have typing programs when I was younger, like applications, games. I think Java we're doing on Monday. Hi, Sean. To start to learn the fundamentals, what are the basics? Okay. I have a master's degree in computer science. Whatever computer you have access to is compatible with coding, most likely. Like, newer is better, but it doesn't have to be like extremely like souped up. I use a Mac for work, but yeah, Mavis Beacon, Cosmic Kitty. I feel like I've seen you before, right? I do have a YouTube. Hi, Melicarthus. What is slicing do? Sorry, thanks for reminding me. Yes, I have a job in tech. I don't share what school I went to. Jose, if you're gonna be unkind, you don't have to be here. That's cool, kill him. There's a lot of different devs in the chat. Okay, so when we're slicing, we have like the first. Yeah, I understand. Is this screen better, Sean? Oop. Okay. So when we have slicing, we're going to use the square brackets. We're going to say start, end, increment, and each of them is separated by colons. So here we only have start and end. And I'm going to print 0 to 3. So when we have 0 to 3, that should be P, I, N, E. Yeah, P, I, N, E. I think it'll print. So let's go ahead. We're going to comment this out, and we're only going to print. Splicing is like, we're only taking part of the string. Okay, so in this case, end is exclusive, so that's why I didn't print the E. So if we did 4 instead, then it would print the E. So now we have pine. What we could also do is say from 2 to 4, and 2 I believe is inclusive. So 0, 1, 2, that would be N, and then E, so it should print NE. So the start is inclusive, the end is exclusive. Yes, exactly. So when you use :3 or :4, this is the same exact thing as 0 to 4. And that's because it sort of assumes that you're starting from the beginning if you don't specify it. Yeah, we're splicing them. They're just strings. So with splicing, you can think of it as like cutting it up or creating substrings. So in Java, you would say dot substring. Yep, sliced fruits. Can you do concatenate? What's the purpose of printing? It's just so that you can visualize it. You can also use the debugger if you want to, but a lot of people who are new understand it from printing to the terminal. Oh, concatenate apple after pine. Yeah. So somebody else can correct me on this, but this is a way of concatenating. Most of the time when I do this, thank you, Sakil. Yeah, I will do a function. Yes, I agree, wrestling and Yu-Gi-Oh! The only thing is, a lot of people who are more experienced, discourage people from using print statements. I think sometimes you can't avoid it, but they're like, you should be using logs. Oh, sorry. So let's go ahead and do pineapple. So this will concatenate these values. So we're just adding them together. You could also do something like fruit. And we're going to splice two substrings together. And let's go ahead and splice. Let's do 4 to the end. So this is the blank after the colon. This just means that just to the end. Go to the end. So we still get pineapple because we're putting two substrings back together. But if we wanted to show that it's two complete different strings, we could add a space here. And now you see you have pineapple. I don't do C#. Hi, Princess Fairy Fly. I'm not in cybersecurity, so I can't answer that question. Hi, Adonis. NumPy? I haven't been using NumPy. I haven't used NumPy in a while. So logs are used in services that are in production, and they're a way of making sure that if anything is going wrong, then you have a record of what went wrong, so that you can basically trace the error and figure out where it happened so that you can fix it. Let me look up logs in Python. I'm not sure what syntax that they use, and it depends. Okay, you have to import logging. So this is code from the internet. So we can go ahead and do an import. Oh, that's my cat, Rocket. Why is it not repeating the fourth letter? Because here in the 0 to 4, the end index is exclusive. So, but the start is inclusive. Okay, let me So this is for logging. So import logging. I'm not sure if you need this. Get logger. Oh, okay. Name. Okay. So then let's see. There's some error. I don't think I have. I'm not sure if you have to install logger. It's just gonna be mad at me. Okay. Oh, that's why. Okay, nope, that's not what I wanted. Alright. Let me go ahead and print this, or run this. I work with Java at work, and Python is something that I enjoy doing, but, logging is in the STD. What kind of projects would you like to work on? I don't do tutorials in C++. Okay, let me see. Logger.debug. Yeah, okay. List, link to list, 2D arrays. Okay. I appreciate you, chat. I did not get a lot of sleep, and I'm starting to get a headache. Oh, that's why. Oh. Where's this file you speak of? Oh, here it is. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah. App.log. So, if you wanted to log to the command line, would you just take out... Ha! We are smart here. We try things. Thank you, Jim. Okay, let's see. We have debug info. Okay, debug isn't showing because we're not using the debug, or we're not debugging right now. I think we would have to like set in the environment, we would have to say that we're currently debugging, but we're not. That's why it's only showing info, warning, error, critical. Show debug. Yeah, debug level. Oh, right. Okay, because info is higher than debug, so it's kind of like ignoring it, right? Debug. Oh my goodness. Is it debugging capital? Oh, debug. See, I'm asleep. I should not be streaming. Cool, thank you. So, there's different levels, and this is actually something that I learned at work one time. So basically, sometimes if you have certain services or applications, if you are constantly logging your debug and info, it's going to generate like a lot of logs in your application. So sometimes you want to be able to turn on or turn off certain levels of logs, because otherwise you just get like a huge, like so many logs, and it takes up so much space, and then you have to pay for the space that holds all these logs that you're not even using. So that was, I had to help like update some of the services so that they were no longer, you know, printing all the debug or printing all the info, and we were only like printing from warnings. I completely forgot that I did that at my last job. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, that worked. And so we say error. Oh yeah, it took out the warning, right? Yeah, okay, so we say error. No puedo hablar en español cuando escuchando. Hablando, how do you say about, I forgot. Oh, that's good. That's a good point too. Printing debug all the time can expose sensitive information. Yeah, so if people are logging sensitive information in the debug logs, then I can see how that would expose sensitive information. Is it also like within the application that certain debug logs are being printed? Yeah, programming in school is very different from programming in work. In work, you have more deadlines and just like less time to work on things, and you have to understand the requirements of the software and then be able to implement it, and you have to talk with product owners, and you have to talk with like the agile champion, and you have to be like, hey, how much time do I have for this? And sometimes you have to like negotiate timelines based on, you know, what your workload is. So there's just a lot of different things, and you have to like learn to advocate for yourself, because people don't inherently know what your workload is, so you have to, you know, be vocal about it, but you also have to be flexible and understand that there's deadlines, and that even if it's maybe too much work for you, you sometimes just have to do it because nobody else on your team can take it. So you take 8 breaks a day. My nose is so itchy. Mr. Difficult. Hey, I remember you. I was like, your name sounds familiar. Okay, let me open Notepad. I am getting a bit tired, sorry. I was up late. Okay. These are some of the sources that you can use. So learnpython.org, Geeks for Geeks, all done free code camp. How can you start and adapt? Can you do this on a smartphone? What is the best free program that teaches Python with hands-on? I've heard free code camp is good, but I haven't used it. Sarah. Hi, Zachary. Yeah, I love W3 schools. Anytime you're learning like a new one, and if you're not like going straight to the docs, you can find tutorials from free code camp. Chocolate spread. Are you in school? Codex and oh yeah, tutorials point. Thank you. That's a good one too. Somebody said Codex. Codex. Python X. Oh, okay. What are you transitioning from? Codex. Okay, I'll show you what Codex looks like. So, hello world. And then it goes into variables, control flow, so this is like conditional statements. And I would think loops, but it says loops in a separate area. Cisco Python. Oh, cool. Admin, that's not true. Coddy Tech? I don't know what you're talking about, Evan. Okay. So this is from Cisco. I would definitely say that, you know, a bigger company that has like a professional, I mean, they have a stake in whether or not people learn Python. So IO operations, when it says logical and bitwise operations, that's something that, this is free. Somebody said that this is free. Yeah, it's free right here. You can't see it. It says it's free. No. I am wary of like suggesting game sites for learning to code because they help you a lot and they encourage you a lot, but then some people become too reliant on that. Yeah, I agree. It looks like a solid course. The bitwise and logical operations, I understand why it would be in here because Cisco is more like networking. Exceptions are important. Maybe I should do this course. Ooh, you can even get a certification. I'm interested in like what they say about exceptions because we didn't really do a whole lot of exception handling in school. If you want to do networking, you can do the Cisco Python. Upskill. Okay, let me write these down because okay, we have Cisco. So there's Cisco Python certificate. Free 99. And then one that I am interested in, Deep Learning AI or Deep Learning.ai. And so you can go to courses and then you can go to sorry, I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Yeah, try catch finally. I don't understand exceptions as well as I would like to. Kind of like I used to not understand like dependency management as well as I do now. Okay, let me see. Hello. I swear that there was a Python course in here. I mean, I am interested in this deep learning.ai. I think it's free. I just wish. Does it say Python? Oh, okay. Python for beginners. So this is. It looks like it would be a good option. It says 10 hours, 15 minutes, so. Recipe generator, to-do list, travel blog analyzer. I might try this because it's kind of interesting. Beautiful soup. This is scraping. Solo learn. Okay, so this is deep learning. Okay, and then somebody said solo learn. Is this free? Okay, I'm getting tired because I didn't sleep enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, but I hope that this was interesting or helpful or something. And I will talk with all of you later. Okay, cool. Thank you for sharing. How about I put it in my GitHub and I'll create a README with resources and I'll just like continuously update those resources. I'm using TikTok Live Studio to share the screen and OBS. You're welcome, Linda. Okay, let me go ahead and I'll just put it on the GitHub. Let me see if I have a README file already. Don't judge me. Don't judge me for my bad organization. Okay, let's do intro to Python new. Actually, I won't put it at the... No, I'm not on a Mac right now. Oh, I do have a README file, sorry. Okay. This is not supposed to be Django blog. Oh! Okay. Cool. So let's add these details here and I'll upload it. Maybe I should just put the FAQ here. Copy. The course above, and they have several offered in English, University of Finland. Which course is it, Sean? Yeah, I have a bachelor's in computers, not in biochemistry. My GitHub is linked on my profile. It's Learn to Code with Ali. So let's see. What other information do you want on here? We have, like, you're helping me build my README. Okay, so these are free resources. Okay, so these, I should say, are tutorials. And free courses. Oh, thank you. Okay, let me copy this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, MIT has them too. MIT, Yale, and was it Stanford? Me too. So this, I would say, I kind of want to make, like, separate them. So, like, I feel like Free Code Camp and Codex are, like, more, hobby, leisure. This is a README for the GitHub. And then, let's see, this one is more, like, professionals. I feel like deep learning is still, professional. And then, let's see, more academic focus. So we could say, oh, sorry. I'm using a Keychron keyboard and G305 Logitech. So let's see, academic, university, Helsinki. So this is Intro to Programming and Advanced Programming. That's interesting. It's a Keychron keyboard and it's a Logitech 305 mouse. University. VS Code extension you can install that analyzes your program to make sure you complete the learning objectives. That's really cool. I am going to So the Python certificate on Coursera, that's, you have to pay for that, right? I'm gonna add the links in a second. I don't feel like this should be a fourth header. Let's look at what it says so far. It's still ugly, but we can improve it. Yes, if you work for a company that has Coursera, it's free. Hey Nathan, you want me to do Java? It's only going to be beginner's Java. Thank you, Social Skills Samurais. I appreciate it. I'm using Python, which is an interpreted language, and the IDE that I'm using is PyCharm. Okay, so we have free code camp. Let me get the links for the Cisco professional certificate. Okay. All right. This is it URL? I have to look up Markdown. Let's talk about Google Cloud Console and how annoying it is to get API keys. Okay, that's what it is. Let me fix that then. So, was it like this, or did I flip it? Link text. Okay. Hey, I did get it. Okay, I was almost right. All right. So now, when you look at it, you see now we have a link. The magic. It just takes time, Nathan, and I'm still learning. And like, even if you become an entry-level software engineer, you're still going to be learning. Like, there's this expectation that you're only going to become an engineer if you're already amazing, and that's not how it works. Okay, let me see. Deep learning for AI. Copy. I do kind of want to do these classes, but like, one, I don't really need them for work, and two, they just take a while. Intro to Programming, University of Helsinki. Okay, I'm kind of interested in like, in their more advanced coding. Cool, Sayo. I started coding like 10 years ago. I don't remember the keyboard switches. My partner got this for me. Let me see, so advanced programming. You can even do French? That's cool. Okay, and I'll put, okay, so it's advanced OOP. I think it's it. Okay, so let's see how this looks so far. Okay, not bad, not bad. Why is it not having breaks? Actually, I don't really want to put like paid programs because they're not paying me. Like, and I haven't taken them. Okay, so you, block quotes, that's what I wanted. Oh, okay, that's easy. Alright, so, yay, but, I mean, that's probably too big, whatever. Okay, so let's see, Stanford, MIT. And I'll commit this to the repo. Oh yeah, so we were doing coding earlier, but right now we switched to making a README list. I didn't know that you could format links. Okay. Link best. Place images. Okay, characters, escape, whatever. Okay, cool. Alright, I just needed to double check. Okay, so we have Yale, MIT, Stanford. African American Studies. Biomedical engineering. I need to redo organic chemistry. I should do that. Let's see. We have economics, English. Where's computer science? Somebody said Yale had it, and I don't see it here. No, I already have a master's degree, so I'm not interested in going back to school right now. Okay, let's do Harvard. Maybe I confused Harvard and Yale. Okay. But this is not free. I don't think Yale actually has one. My master's is in computer science. Massive online, open online course, yeah. Yale's a CPS. Yeah. CPSC. This is just their course catalog. It's not actually giving free. Okay, so Harvard. Okay, let me do MIT first. This is from fall. I'll take the one from 2022. Oh. So this is from MIT, right? Oh, you just download it? Yeah, Kaggle is another good one. Let me see. There's so many different resources to put down. Okay, so Stanford, you said Harvard? Harvard, open course. Are we only putting Python on here? Where's the best place to find USB software engineers? I'm not sure, kill him. Like, part of me, ooh, CS50 for lawyers, that's pretty cool. Artificial intelligence, programming with Python. I'm going to say this one, and okay, I'm not sure how to do it. Like, I do want to listen to these and like learn more, but at the same time it's like I have other things that I could be doing and it's not really necessary for my work. Kaggle. Yeah, well, I'm not posting projects on GitHub. I'm only posting the stuff that I do. I'm only posting the stuff that we do during the live streams on GitHub because I have a personal GitHub and this is not for my personal GitHub. Free Code Camp, yes. So Free Code Camp is down here. We didn't say Khan Academy because honestly I forgot about it, but I did used to use it for like calculus, math, and not computer science, chemistry. Thank you for reminding me. So yeah, my GitHub is just Learn to Code with Ali. It's also on my profile. One second. Okay, so this is that's it. Welcome, Ben. Odin Project. What is Odin Project? Did I already put Free Code Camp in there? Yeah, code dex. I want to know what their like for lawyers thing is. Do I need to be good at mathematics? If you have high school level mathematics, it's good. Oh, cool. Okay. Let's see. So Java course. Yay, congratulations on finishing your capstone project. Or almost finishing it. You're right, it is Markdown, not Python. People were asking me to post like the resources, and I haven't made the README yet, so I was like, okay, I should probably make the README. So this is what we have so far. I know it's slim. It'll get better like as time goes on, but Ruby. Is it free? Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, thank you for that. So JavaScript and Ruby. So let's say, I'm gonna just say JavaScript. I mean, I could say JavaScript and Ruby. I'm a little bit like nervous about suggesting things that I haven't tried before, just because I don't want to give people bad information. Oh, they even have React. I need to redo JavaScript. I wonder what their database is. Intermediate HTML and CSS. Okay, let's see. Odin project. Ruby. I don't know what UW is. It's like University of Washington. I think you should if you want to, Midwest guy. The thing is that if you want to do it, then I would suggest like, I mean, it's whatever you want to do, but if you want to get more people in the live, then just sticking with beginner stuff. So, roadmap.sh. This will have, oh. Toad, JavaScript. It would be interesting if people started like polling and then making edits themselves. Or, you know, like forking. I'm sure somebody has already done this before. Thank you. I don't even know how to say your name because you're using emojis. Yeah, if people submitted a PR, I would take their work. The only thing is, like, I worry about if people are giving me things that could hurt other people, like if they're like scamming or something, and then I just don't pay attention, and then, you know, people end up getting scammed. So I need to add more like text in here because right now it's just like really ugly and it's just a bunch of lists. I do want to look at these things later from the Odin project. Thank you to the person who suggested it. There's so many resources online to learn for free. You said Java is MOOC. Yeah, I would have to review it and I can't just like approve, but I mean, I don't do that much web development with Python. Like I'm planning to learn. Actually, was it? Yeah. Night Owl. Big Poppy. The Odin project is for learning a bunch of different courses, so free online courses for JavaScript. Let me get that. Nope, that's not what I want. Nope. What's wrong with your homework, Queen? What issues are you having? Because we can't go back to Python. I just have... Bye, Jam. Thank you for hanging out. That's cool, Midwest guy. I know that this live is boring, sorry. I'm tired from last night and I have like kind of a headache. You have to pay for Codex. Codex. Oh. I see what you mean. Yeah, that's really annoying. I'm gonna put it under paid. Hi, let me explain. We're just doing a readme, Duck. It's not any coding right now. Originally it was coding and then I got tired. And we started working on a readme. And people have been contributing. You finally start coding, Bella? I don't use Cursor, and I don't use VS Code. I'm using PyCharm. It's okay, Bella. If you do need help, just let me know. I don't want you to feel. I mean, you're gonna feel overwhelmed. You're gonna struggle, but like, you should also feel supported. Asking me about vibe coding. So my priority right now as like an early career software engineer is to just develop strong coding skills and strong development skills. And I don't want to rely too much on AI because right now they are making it free and available for everybody to use. And you can use it at work, but you know, like companies change their minds all the time about where they put money. So it's possible that if you have access to one coding or AI tool at work, maybe the next year you won't have access to it. So I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, everybody has their own preferences. So if I don't want to use VS Code, it's not a big deal. No. Flag. Neovim. Notepad. Okay, my bad. I forgot Notepad is the best. No, it's things like that does annoy me, like people judging you for using a specific IDE or for learning certain coding languages, like unless they're very old and outdated coding languages. Bye, Night Owl. Okay, let's see, we have, I don't really want to add Coursera here, like Coursera is, yeah, Midwest guy. It's just very like clicky and very better than thou, and just like, I don't know. People, I mean, it's because it's competitive, but I don't like all of that stuff. It's boring. Has anyone been hired as a vibe coder? Probably. I think it's more about marketing though. Like you're selling a product and you already vibe coded it. Midwest guy. That sounds like crappy. That does not sound like a fun meetup. Hi Mickey, how are you? What is Coddy.tech? I don't like this already. Like, why are you making me do this? Please stop. I don't like having to go through a whole bunch of different things to get started. Is this IDE free? I'm using the subscription version, but you can get IntelliJ Community for free. Oof. I don't like it. It made me go through a bunch of questions, and then it had me sign into something, or it's trying to make me sign in, and I don't want to sign in. I think the problem, it's not debating itself that's the problem. It's a lot of the times it's not productive, right? It's not like talking about pros and cons. It's just like talking down to other people. And that might not have been your intention, but a lot of the times when people, come on the live and correct me, they're just like, it gets weird and boring. It's okay, Rosie. I think it's different for everybody, and also if you don't have as much programming experience as they do. Okay, I'll put it in there, but I'm gonna put it under like hobby leisure. Is free code camp under hobby leisure? Is that too much? So the open source projects, no, not yet. I do want to work on some, but I would have to find something that I'm really interested in. Chocolate, I don't think that you're too old. I'm 32 and I started working in tech at 30. Like it is difficult, and there's bias, but there's bias like everywhere, like age bias and stuff. So laptop specifications for programming, that's sort of, it's specific to like what language you're using and what IDE. Python has low overhead relatively, but PyCharm itself probably means that you have, like if you chose to use PyCharm, you probably have to have more memory and performance power or processing power. I think VS Code is technically lighter than PyCharm. I think that's one of the benefits of VS Code. Yay, Rosie, I'm happy that you're doing your good job in data and algorithms. Atom, I haven't heard of Atom in so long. Atom is also a lightweight editor, but I don't know like what plugins that you would use that would like help you. So like a lot of these IDEs that you choose to use, the plugins are what makes or breaks the experience. I hear you, Midwest guy. I mean, like, I think with, people having less access to student loans and grants, there's just going to be less people who are able to go to college. And I don't feel like it's beneficial for tech to lock out people based on college experience when, people aren't able to go to college. And it's not their fault. It's because of stupidity. And I hate it so much. Cat. Yeah, and that's really common for a lot of people to have to leave college because of, just things going on, whether it's financial or whether it has to do with family or both. Sales, I would say, it does seem pretty unstable. Sales and recruiting, like a couple years ago, it was either during COVID or like right after COVID started, like when a lot of tech people started getting laid off and they were like laying off a lot of recruiters, and that was pretty crappy. Good kitty. Okay, so we have W3 schools. We have Geeks for Geeks. Thank you for the follow. Well done. Stack Overflow, but I feel like that's sort of, is it weird to say that's a given? Like Stack Overflow is something that you go to after you've been like searching for a problem, but I mean I could put it there. I just thought that we usually like get to Stack Overflow by using Google. That's good, Mr. Difficult. I'm glad it's getting better. I mean, like, I started like 10 years ago. I'm not amazing. I'm more intermediate. And like, one of the things that helped me was actually studying for coding interviews, because you have to like have certain skills. And it's easier when you learn certain tricks. This might get long. I don't really like starting to learn new things on stream. That might be why I seem like resistant when people make suggestions, because did I memorize all of this? Well, no, I remember parts of it at different times, and some people have made suggestions in the comments, but sometimes I forget, and that's why I wanted to write it down. Sorry. I see what you're saying. MK Docs. Ethan, you can, I'm going to commit this. I'll commit it as it is right now. 10:11. You like learning through reading or watching live videos on Red app? I haven't used the Red app in a while. Oh wait, so YouTube. I thought you were talking about like, what is that other one called? The Notes. I haven't used Notes in a while. So I think I just pushed it. Okay, can't push. I'm using the command line for people who think that I'm not a real software engineer. And it's not even working when I click enter. Okay. Damn it. Okay, that's why. So I have to fix that later. Actually, wait. Push. Okay, it committed, but I had to use the UI instead. Thank you. So you don't download a zip file. I'm confused. Okay, we're gonna do a small GitHub tutorial because like, I know it's like a little bit of a flex. It's ridiculous, but it is a little bit of a flex to be able to use the command line. Let's see, so you're gonna go to the dashboard, right? And then we're just doing Python learning. Hey, I'm tired. I was supposed to get offline earlier, but it's okay. Okay, so you can, if you just go here, right? This is the README. I don't know why it's so zoomed in right now. Did I zoom that? Okay, it was 120%. Prime time hours. Is that what it is right now? Use GitHub Desktop for the first time in 2 years. So I don't even use GitHub Desktop. I'm over it. Do you want me to do whoever is like looking for GitHub information, do you want me to do like a quick tutorial on how to use GitHub? Okay, real kitchen appliances. Alright, so there's two ways you could do it. Let me see if VS Code also does the import, because a lot of people like using VS Code. Not me, but to each their own. Okay, can you do that in VS Code? Okay, let me see. Okay, source control. You could initialize the repository. Okay, so this is, I think this is already in another repo. Oh, this is just in my whole documents. That's not good. Okay, let's see. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, that's fine, I think. Oh, I guess I was doing HTML. Code Live Preview for free. So my GitHub repo is Learn to Code with Ali. Rosen. Okay, that's what you were asking. Sorry, I was confused. I thought you were asking for a site that gives you previews. It's like Midwest guy said, it keeps track of your code. So if this was a project, right, then I would be able to like see what files I have. But the big thing is that you would want to clone it to your local repository. I forgot how to do it with like forks, but I guess you could just like if you're not part of that repo, you can fork it, and then you could so forking it will like create a branch sort of in your repo that you have control over, and then repo list, repo clone. So you would do something like get this GitHub link, or it tells you right here, like you can clone the repo. If you wanted to make your own repo for displaying your own code, you could just create another one. This is a bad tutorial because I just remembered that okay. You see how it says here? It says, let me check my TikTok. Okay, you can't see very well. So when you create a new repository, it'll help you with setup. So it just tells you, oh no. So it tells you like, okay, you would create a README file and you would just put the example line into the README. You would initialize the repository locally, add the README file to your like list of files that you're tracking, and then here you would create your first commit message and commit your changes, and then you would, here it's saying git branch, so I guess you're switching branches and then adding the origin. So what's the difference between forking and cloning? Oh, thank you, I appreciate it. So the difference between forking and cloning, that's a good question. Let's just look it up. I think forking is when you don't own that project. Yeah, okay, so forking is when you are contributing to open source projects, or you want to create your own variant without necessarily being a maintainer. And it creates a standalone copy of the repository on your account. And when you are ready to make changes, then you can submit a pull request to the original repository. No, I only used forking when I was trying to create a PR for an open source project. So, like, I think you were saying that you wanted to contribute to open source, or was that somebody else? So cloning, this is just your own repo that you're cloning. And also when you fork something, when you fork a repo, and then it's now in your own repository or your own account, then you can clone that repo now to your local. So cloning is just taking all the files. You know how you were saying, somebody was saying like downloading a zip file earlier? Like you can do that, but you can download the zip, but what's better is to you can open with GitHub Desktop, or you can just import via PyCharm or VS Code. So if I wanted to do this in PyCharm, I would go like File, New Project, Project from Version Control. I didn't say that they were the same as fork. I said if you forked a repo, then you could clone the forked repo that's now in your account. And this is why I look stuff up before I try to explain it if I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, so if I'm cloning a repo that I already have in my account, then I could give the URL here. So I would just take like, I could take this URL, right? This HTTPS, put it here. And then I would just do like clone. And it gives you the option of what type of version control that you want to use. Most people are using Git. Yeah, Jor, that's what I understand, but I also want to like just be part of an open source project. Maybe that sounds silly. No, I know that most contributions come from people who are actively using a library. I would have to like see, I think Cucumber maybe is open source, right? So I use that at work, but I don't have any functionality that I can think of that would be good to like add. Like when people say getting started with doing open source, they talk about like contributing to README files and stuff like that. You can open the repo in VS Code Online. Let's go look. Whoops, sorry. One second, this thing is giving me a hard time. Okay, I'll fix it. Let me just go ahead and okay. Learn to code with Ali. Is that it? Oh, now you'll do it. Okay, whatever. Okay, open repository. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. makes more sense. Okay. I think I did hear about that or know of it, but I forgot. There was just so many like things that you learn, and if you don't use them, you forget it. Whoa. Okay, I'm tired. I'll see if I can code more later or come back on later, but yeah, if you want to open the repo here, you can. I guess you can edit it remotely. So, oh, VS Code is from Microsoft, right? That's why they let you do that. Yeah, I remember. Okay, I'll talk to you people later. Thank you for hanging out. It was nice talking with everybody. Bye. I'm tired.